It's the afternoon weather briefing. This is for Friday, the 13th of September. I'm James Spann. A tropical air mass in place across Alabama, moisture laden, which means we'll see rain from time to time all the way through Sunday. Not raining all weekend long. We'll have some good breaks in there, but let's go right to the radar. We're live this afternoon at 2:54, and you can see these tropical rain bands moving across the state. And like yesterday, if you're underneath one of these bands, you're going to see heavy amounts of rain, but it's not raining everywhere. For some places, the sun is poked out nicely today. We do note there is a flash flood warning in effect up here for parts of northwest Alabama. In fact, let me flip the radar back over to the Columbus Air Force Base site. And again, you can see that flash flood warning is in effect for parts of Franklin, Colbert, and Lawrence counties up in northwest Alabama. That storm has drifted off to the east. It's pouring, just pouring right now in Moulton and Lawrence County, then down into Winston County around Addison, down to near Arley on the western shore of Smith Lake. There's thunder and lightning involved here, but no evidence of any severe storms. But again, that flash flood warning in effect is until 4 o'clock. And again, that is for parts of Colbert, Franklin, and Lawrence, and it's for that big cluster that's now shifted a smidgen east of there. Got some pretty good showers in progress off to the west of Birmingham. In fact, let me flip the radar back over to Shelby County Airport. Got some big downpours in Walker County, Jasper, Cordova, Parrish, Oakman, down into extreme western Jefferson County. And again, these showers are moving northward, but the band is slowly shifting eastward. And then down to the south, we've got just a huge downpour through parts of Chilton County. And again, like yesterday, these things are trying to spin, but they're just having a really hard time. We'll take a look at the velocity display. And again, you can see just very, very broad rotation in that storm that's located along Highway 22, Alabama 22, between Clanton and Maplesville. And again, we'll watch all of these things, very carefully for the next couple of hours. And again, like yesterday, there's a very low-end tornado threat, not especially high-end. And while we got the radar up here, let's quickly go down south, and you can see things are just pretty calm on the Alabama Gulf Coast. But again, it's pouring down here at Panama City Beach. Take a look at the Eglin Air Force Base radar. And again, that's just a whopper of a downpour for places like Panama City Beach, Tyndall Air Force Base. Got rain falling down to Mexico Beach as well. So again, spotty thunderstorms in the Gulf Coast. But let's kind of go through the modeling here. Many questions about the weekend. So here we go. Upper air look. The ghost of Francine near Memphis, just west of Memphis. Got a trough that's over the northwest United States. And for Alabama, you can see we've got some sun breaking through the clouds here. But we've got convective bands. And here's a look at the radar composite across the Deep South. You can see that big cluster near Panama City Beach. And you can see the various thunderstorms in progress across Alabama. Now, we've warmed up into the 80s in spots today where the sun is out. For example, Birmingham's up to 85, but 77 in Dothan. The warm spot Mobile at 89. We still have a flash flood watch in effect for parts of Alabama, the counties in green on this map. This would include about the northern third of the state, then down into the eastern counties, down toward Montgomery, Auburn, and Opelika. And remember, while it's not rained heavily everywhere, if you're underneath one of these bands, it could rain a lot. I mean a lot in a very short amount of time. So the other thing we're watching, it's the potential for little spinners, brief isolated tornadoes. And again, I don't know. Let's go through quickly where we stand right now with the instability. And this is what's different from yesterday. The air is much more unstable today. In fact, we got some surface-based CAPE values in excess of 2,000 joules per kilogram. So the air is certainly sufficiently unstable, but the dynamic support has just gone away. This is the current storm relative helicity, and basically there is none. And you got to have that to get a rotating updraft and get a tornado down. So the chance of a tornado, it's not zero, but goodness, with that, it is awfully low. And the composite index, the STP, basically meaningless at this point. We're not even seeing one unit here. So, again, technically, we still have this marginal risk. The areas in darker green through the evening hours for parts of north, central, east, southeast Alabama. And we'll watch radar trends. We always do. But at the moment, it sure looks like we won't have a major problem. This is tomorrow. No organized severe weather expected across the country. And the same thing on day 3, which is Sunday. Rain for the next 7 days. And if this works out, we're the wettest spot in the entire country right here. And again, this is coming from NOAA's WPC, the Weather Prediction Center. This is not raw model output. And again, the guys at WPC continue this axis of heavier rain from the Shoals down to Birmingham and Auburn and Opelika. The areas in yellow on that map, that's in excess of 4 inches. And I don't know if we can achieve that, but some can. But it's going to be, I don't think everybody gets that much. It just depends on where these tropical bands set up. And understand, it's going to be wet at times this weekend. Same thing with tropical rain. And rain is a good thing. If you missed it, this is the new drought monitor released yesterday. And we're starting to see an extreme drought showing up there in parts of Limestone and Lauderdale counties up near the Tennessee state line. A severe drought, that's a D2 for a pretty good chunk of the state. So, hey, we could use some rain. And I do think the rain we get between now and early next week will certainly make a big dent in that. So in the tropics, here's the big view. Francine, of course, is post-tropical. It's inland and dissipated, technically. We've got one little feature that's near the Leeward Islands that's not expected to develop. One little spot that's east of Florida, and a new tropical storm on the board. This is the 7-day outlook. And again, the little feature near the Leeward Islands, don't worry about that. That feature that's off the South Atlantic coast, the Hurricane Center giving this a 40% chance of becoming some type of subtropical storm. It's not really going to be a classic tropical system. It will clearly be a hybrid. But whatever develops there will be drifting inland by the middle of next week. And whether it gets a name or not, the impact will be the same, just breezy and wet. And we have a new tropical storm out there in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the middle of nowhere. Tropical Storm Gordon. And the top winds 40 miles an hour. This thing is barely a tropical storm, and this is based on satellite estimates, and it's too far to get reconnaissance data. And you can see the Hurricane Center shows it to stay under tropical storm strength. It weakens to a depression. And this thing might just totally fizzle out. It's got a lot of issues with dry air and other problems, and it will stay far, far from land through the middle of next week if anything survives out there. And if anything survives, there's a pretty good chance it'll turn north. This is the European ensemble output. The Europeans got 51 members, and most all of them turn it north. And again, that's if anything survives. And most likely this stays far, far, far from land. No concern there. So model fans, let's look at the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid tomorrow at 4. Let's talk about the weekend. The ghost of Francine, it's just hanging around North Mississippi. And again, we stay in a soupy air mass. So occasional showers and thunderstorms are likely. We stress it's not going to rain all day. And like today, the sun might peek out at times. This is the high-resolution HER model, valid tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And you can see kind of a convective band setting up from the Shoals down to Birmingham and Dothan. And we stress the radar will probably not look exactly like this, but something like that. So if you've got something planned outside tomorrow, just understand, will it rain at times? Yes. Will it rain all day? No. Could the rain be heavy at times? Yes. And if you're going to a football game, Auburn's got a 6:30 kickoff, I believe, in the evening. Clearly take the rain gear for that game against New Mexico. So same thing on Sunday. Evidence the showers could be a little maybe fewer in number, but it's the same setup. The ghost of Francine is hanging around Memphis, and we have a deep tropical air mass in place. Highs probably upper 70s tomorrow and Sunday. And then Monday, if you notice, let's see, right above me right there, we have this low developing, probably a subtropical type low that's off the coast of the Carolinas. And that will be drifting inland, and we're going to see a northerly flow developing. And that could begin to dry out the northern half of the state. Looks like the better chance of showers over South Alabama. Tuesday, looking relatively dry. Any showers near the Gulf Coast. Wednesday, again, mostly dry. Thursday looks dry. High should be in the 80s. And this is a week from today. This is Friday, September 20th. Again, got this upper low kind of developing here across Alabama and Georgia, and just maybe a few showers with that toward the end of next week. But it sure looks like the weather trending dry for much of next week. Maybe not all week, but a pretty decent part of the week should be dry. Let's keep going. Let's go out 10 days, Monday, September 23rd. Got this upper low that's over the Gulf of Mexico. That's not a tropical feature, and Alabama would be on the dry side of that if this works out. But again, the model consistency out here has not been that good. Here's a look at rain for Birmingham. This is coming off the European ensemble. The mean, a little over 4 inches between now and the 28th of September. Temperatures coming off the NBM, National Blend of Models. We've got upper 70s through Monday, 80s for the rest of next week, lows across the board in the 60s. And hot off the presses, got the brand new 8 to 14 day guidance. This is for September 21st through September 27th. And if this works out, temperatures here would be a little above average. And we must roll some Children's of Alabama Kid Cam video. River and Cape Montessori School in Alabaster. Hey, I like it. You can learn science, have a little fun. Had a great session there today. Talked a lot about different kinds of weather, what we do. And, I like these cookies. I like that state bird cookie. That state bird was flying yesterday. And you got to respect the polygon when the weather gets dangerous. But that's a really fun school. Great teachers. And we talked a lot about the science behind weather. And a great time today. So, again, to all of those students and teachers at River and Cape Montessori School in Alabaster, thanks a lot for a great visit. And then over in North Shelby County, this is the Westminster School at Oak Mountain. These are the second graders. They're pumped up. Love it. Talking science on a Friday morning. Did some storm spotting for these guys. Second graders can be good storm spotters. I'm telling you, they can learn storm spotting. And I've been coming to see the second grade there for many, many, many years. And it's always a lot of fun. Great school with great teachers and great team members there. So, again, to all of those great students at Westminster School at Oak Mountain, and also River and Cape Montessori School in Alabaster. Thanks a lot for a great series of visits earlier today. So back to the radar. Again, we're live at 3:06, and there's a look at that mess on the coast of Florida. Heavy rain, just pouring. Rosemary Beach, Panama City Beach, Panama City, up toward Lynn Haven, up toward Interstate 10. And that big mess is drifting down toward Mexico Beach, Cape San Blas, Indian Pass, Port St. Joe. But again, as you work your way back to the west, things pretty quiet for the Alabama Gulf Coast. Things are nice and dry for Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, and Fort Morgan. Let's kind of look at the rest of the state. And again, you can see these tropical rain bands setting up, moving. The individual showers and storms are moving north. The rain bands are slowly drifting back to the east. And again, the deal is if you're underneath one of these things, it could come a flash flood in no time at all. These will be very, very efficient rain producers. Again, let's kind of drop in the storm here in Chilton County. And you can see that thing is centered along Alabama 22 between Clanton and Maplesville. And we'll peek at the velocity display. And again, there's no tornado in this. That's not a tornado signature. And like we've showed you in modeling, the storm relative helicity values are extremely low today, which really would negate any major chance of a tornado. And again, could there be an isolated brief tornado somewhere? Yes. The chance of a tornado is not zero, but I'll put it this way, it's pretty low. To the north, we've got developing showers in parts of Shelby County, heavy rain falling at Chelsea, all of this moving north. Got big rains falling over much of Walker County, up into Winston County. Got some good showers in Cullman, western Blount, northern Jefferson. And again, up here in the northwestern part of the state, we have a flash flood warning that is in effect until 4 o'clock for parts of Franklin, Colbert, and Lawrence counties. And that's for that big cluster of storms that's now over the eastern part of Lawrence down into parts of eastern Winston County up in northwest Alabama. And basically, that's the deal for the weekend. We're just going to see these waves of tropical showers, and we'll have nice breaks in the rain. But if you're underneath one of these things, just be aware we could see a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And after today, we don't expect any tornado threat. There's a very low-end threat for the rest of this afternoon and this evening. But over the weekend, we're not expecting any severe storms, just these tropical showers and thunderstorms as we trend drier next week. All right, so that's it for this afternoon. No book signing tomorrow. We got a very busy week next week, but thanks for watching. We invite you to watch us on television this evening, right across the hall in Studio A, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and God bless.